Hello, everybody. This is Tina Esparza. I'm with Cascades Healthcare, and I'm here today on Talking with Tina with Michael Glassford. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Michael, you and I met at a networking meeting on a Connect Utah call, Zoom call, the last few months. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. Talk to me a little bit about what you do and what you might talk to us about today.
So I'm an estate planning attorney. I work with families to, I say my catchphrase is it's your life, it's your story, make it a good one. So I work with families to understand how to make that happen, to how to create the shield around themselves. So not just to plan on passing away well, but to live well. And so that's really my passion. I'm an author, I'm a storyteller, and why not just translate that into the legal profession that I've practiced for about 15 years and really make sure that that piece is in play for families to go to the next level.
Talk to me about some of the things that you offer.
So I talk about wills and trusts and probate, things like that. And, it's like the Wizard of Oz, wills, trust, probate. Oh my, because no one really wants to talk about it. It's all morbid. It's all death. And my message is no, it's not about death. It's about life. And so let's get started young. Let's get started right and start creating something rather than waiting to preserve something that we may or may not create.
Talk to me a little bit about that process. Does a will avoid a probate?
So that's great. Great question. And a lot of folks, we still understand how that works because we hear will. We need to have a will. We all know that's important. It really hasn't moved into our important and urgent, quadrant. It just remains in that important, I'll get to it piece. But the part that we don't know is that the will is, I just call it like I see it. It's the golden ticket. Charlie wanted that golden ticket to the chocolate factory. It's the golden ticket for the government to come to your last party, for them to have one more say. And that's what probate is. It's the government being involved in transferring your property that you owned outright, most likely, to the people that you loved. If you don't have a will, then the government has a will for you. There's statutes that say what will happen without a will. And it makes the process even harder for your family. But with a will, you're still in that arena. You're still playing that probate game. You're still subject to judges and creditors and all of the pieces and expenses that come into what make up the probate process, which really is just a giant filter. And so, if I take the things that I work so hard to pass on to my family, send them through that meat grinder, there's going to be less on the other side. So yes, I don't want to ever downplay the importance of having a will, but there's better vehicles out there.
So what is the cost of a probate?
So yeah, you're going to pay whatever you're going to pay for a will. Attorneys sometimes will say, I'll do a will for free. Because really, it's just a long calling card. They're going to be around when they pass away, and then they'll make the money on the probate. I hate to be cynical about that, but it's kind of true. And it doesn't matter if it's a really cheap will or if it's a really, $10,000 expensive, really all in will. It's going to go to probate. So in Utah, some states are percentage based in probate. Utah's not. There's a filing fee. It's $375. That's a chunk of change. If there's any kind of real estate, you're gonna pay appraisal fees. You're gonna pay publication fees. You're gonna have to hire an attorney because you don't know how to do it yourself. Most attorneys on average want about a $2,500 retainer. Whatever their hourly is, just do some math. Probate on average before COVID, everything's slowed down now. I don't even have numbers on that, but on average probate in Utah is 3 months to 18 months. So just assume that attorney works 1 hour a week on the case at $200 an hour. How much have you spent after 3 months, just 1 hour a week? How much have you spent after 6? You do the math, after 18, just 1 hour a week, which probably isn't going to just maintain 1 hour because there's probably a problem if you've been in for 18 months. That's $13,000. So it can add up really quick, but the cost of probate is more than just money. You're putting out money. Where are you getting that from? That's a good question. But you're also putting out your time. You're taking away from your family. You're taking away from your job. You're taking away from your life. That's a cost. And there's an emotional cost. I've seen too many families put off the grieving process because they're so busy, holding white knuckling, trying to get through the probate process.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine not being able to grieve for the loss of, a loved one until you go through all of the legal stuff. I mean, that's just, ugh, that'd be
And
awful.
it's just us. And it's like a condition we put upon ourselves. Like, I can't let go. I can't feel until this is done. And,
Right.
no one would ever think, oh, I'll do that to myself, but we do.
Right. You're giving that information out to our listeners because I'm sure like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I'm sure a lot of people don't understand that either. So, talk to me about trust, a trust, and how is that different from a will?
So that's a great question. So the whole issue of probate is when we own something, like if I own this castle behind me and I pass away, then someone else is going to own it, but who's there to sign on the line to transfer it, right? If there's no plan in place, that's what the will, things like that. That's what the judge is for. He or she's going to sign on the line and transfer it. A trust, we're taking care of that transfer before we die. We're transferring it today to a legal entity that can own property. So the transfer is taken care of, the need for probate and a judge gone. So we've taken care of it today. The trust owns it. We take on the job as trustee or property manager, and we're going to run it on behalf of the trust, which is for us. And we're going to enjoy it as a beneficiary on the behalf of us. So we don't own it anymore, but we can still manage it and use it and send it to the people that we want as we write into the trust, and it's all done. It's not a future thing that has to be done. It is done. So there is no probate cost. There is no attorneys that have to get involved later. There's no mismanagement of expectations because the family knows if you've communicated with them exactly what's going to happen. And if they don't, it's in writing once you pass.
Wow. So that's the way to go, right? I mean, if
it's a better answer for sure. A lot of folks kind of get trapped, a little scared of trust because they can cost some money, they can be in the thousands of dollars range. But when you do a dollar to dollar comparison, $2,500 for something that you're going to get versus $13,000 of complete uncertainty and time and who knows what's going to happen. It's still a higher value, it's better for you, but it's got to be an investment in what you're doing. And I see that, and I talk to my clients a lot about trust and wills and say the trust is a better route. And I don't ever want clients to feel like I'm upselling them to a trust because I'm in business, which I am, but I want them to get what they need, and I put my mouth where my money is, or vice versa. And I have programs where they can get into the trust for much less, for actually what most attorneys charge you for a will. Mm-hmm. Just it's a basic thing, and I give the analogy that you can buy a really expensive Tesla and drive that Tesla to Costco to hoard your toilet paper, or you can drive a Ford to Costco to get your toilet paper. Either way, the job is getting done, but the expense that you spend on the vehicle is significantly different, but each of them were sufficient for the job you needed. So I'm providing clients, we're starting them out with the Ford trust rather than the Tesla trust.
Nice. So how does somebody get a hold of you?
So lots of ways. I want to make it as completely painless as possible for folks. So lots of virtual options in place. They can go to my website at www.legallifeplan.com. Everything's virtual. We meet online, we talk online. And if at the end of the process, they want me to come to their home to do all the signing and the notarizing, we can make that a part of the plan. And it's kind of, I'm allowing the client to choose their own adventure rather than just saying one size fits all, pay me a lot of money. It's like, no, decide what you need, how much help you need. You can call me. The office number is 801-610-6691. They can email me at info@legallifeplan.com, or they can just, most of my clients, honestly, nowadays, reach out on Messenger on Facebook.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and for giving us someone we can trust. It's important to feel like you have somebody that you can trust and go to. So I appreciate that. And we're about out of time. So I will make sure that I put all of your information in the notes so that people know how to get a hold of you. What else you want to say before we leave?
No, I really appreciate the time, and I'm glad that we can get the message out and help people understand what they need to do to be a little safer, to live their best life.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, everybody, and for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time. Have a great week.